Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Play and Explain. Today we're back on ACR playing some Blitz. 200 pool isn't running, so we're going to play 50 now today. But there's been quite a few requests for some lower stakes content, so I think all the stars kind of aligned to get some of that out to you guys. Gonna just play as exploitatively as possible. Don't really expect anyone to be playing back too much in this pool, and yeah, just gonna be paying attention to bet sizings and kind of anything else that we can use to make assumptions about our opponents. People will give away a lot of information in these games, so if you're paying attention, you can really take advantage of people when you get in hands with them again. So we'll see if any of those like nuanced spots come up that I can kind of talk more about as we get going here. I expect there's still quite a bit of like overfolding pre-flop, overfolding probably on all streets, to be honest. So expect like stealing blinds to be pretty good. People probably aren't 3-betting quite enough. People probably aren't 4-betting quite enough. They're just assumptions I have about the pool, could be wrong. All right, 5-3 deuce, rainbow. Pretty good board for the big blind, not so good for us, but I think with my specific hand, just want to bet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Again, not really caring about balance or protecting my ranges in this pool. I'm just gonna kind of do whatever my hand feels like and expect that to be an okay strategy. I think on the turn we can pretty comfortably check and look to bluff catch a lot of rivers. He should be floating this flop like very, very wide. Who knows if that's actually happening. But yeah, I just can't imagine ever folding this hand. Block a lot of value. Okay, turn to queen, well played. We also unblock bluffs with that hand. Like, doesn't really need to bluff that many ace highs in that spot. He should have enough like other overcard floats. Okay, ace king off in these positions. I think we can mix all three, to be honest. Call, jam, and 4-bet. This time I'm just gonna call, play post flop. Pretty good flop, obviously. And we're gonna start with the flop check raise for the most part. I expect he's range betting here. So when people are range betting, especially on boards like these, we need to respond with an aggressive check raise strategy, and when we have top, that's gonna make it in there pretty much pure. We're gonna have lots of bluffs here. 5-4, 6-5, 7-6, 8-7. We won't have those all at full frequency if we're playing properly, but once you add them up, even partially, ends up being quite a few combos. Also have spade combos, and then it's nice to check raise the flop with a 9 sometimes as well. Just blocking some of their strong hands and obviously being able to improve against an ace. As played on a turn that's pretty dry, I'm actually gonna size down, go 1/3 here. Can go maybe B40 slightly better, but he shoves, call, chop it up. Boring. Why it's kind of lagging to get the next hand in. Okay, flop the nuts. Pretty good start. Again, another board that's much better for the big blind. Just they're gonna have a lot more flushes when the ace is on the board, but Don't really care against these guys. Just gonna bet my hand. Obviously a disappointing turn, but I think I'm just gonna keep betting. Basically, I'm just gonna, in my head, pretend he has the Queen of Spades and just try and do what, or like the Nine of Spades or whatever. Just try and maximize against those kind of hands. And Ace Queen on the left, I'm just gonna try and show down. Oh, my proper hotkey is set up. But yeah, just gonna go for river over bet. He did have the Queen of Spades, perfect. Okay, with pocket jacks, blind versus blind, just going to 4-bet. Pretty big 3-bet size, so sizing up our 4-bet as well. And we take it down. I do think, you know, someone might say, if you think he has the Queen of Spades, why wouldn't you just go all in with the King Jack? I think it becomes pretty face up when you do that, and I think even like, you know, average players in this pool could probably hero fold, unless it's like an obvious recreational player. But could be wrong. Maybe just shoving is the play. I don't know. But I think going roughly B150 is good. I expect to get paid every time in that case. And you can also get hero called by worse occasionally when you do that. Whereas I think if you jam, it's just like not that difficult to fold the Queen of Spades there. People don't really shove in that spot as a bluff player. Okay, pocket nines, 3-bet small blind button. This board, just gonna start with 1/3. And we take it down. And same spot with pocket kings, obviously 3-betting. Take that down as well. Find in these pools, people are like very happy to snap fold in spots. Like everyone's kind of made up their mind that they're on to the next hand, and there's probably a lot of hands that they should be continuing across all the streets that just get snap mucked. So definitely would not be shy to take advantage of that. Especially at 15 now, I'm definitely playing 3-better fold. Like the rake is just so high that it's not really worth playing a flatting range anywhere but the big blind. Unless there's like some crazy table dynamics at play with some wrecks or something. I'm gonna make a tight fold here. Like I would never fold this normally, but I just think in these pools people are probably 4-betting not enough. It's also slightly larger than I would expect. So given it's bigger than normal and also I expect the pool to be under 4-betting, I think it's fine to fold hands like that. Like they're dominated by even the 4-bet bluffing range, so it's really really a grim spot. And then if they're never bluffing, then you're just really getting cooked. So this guy is timing out. I think our hand is just a clear turn bet. And with ace king suited, ooh, it's kind of misroll. All right, 6-3 suited first. I'm just gonna bet 3/4 again. Like, don't love it, but 6 high. And ace king suited, we're obviously going to cold 4-bet. Don't love the under the gun jam, but I mean, Not gonna fold. Pocket nines. This is always the worst way to lose, when someone just like dusts it pre, but you have ace king, and so you're just flipping. Obviously, we hit though, so it's okay. Upstairs. No, couldn't do it twice. I think this is low frequency 3-bet. I do think people are going to overfold and not 4-bet enough, like I've been saying, so gonna get in there. Also, people in this pool don't know who I am, so I can probably take advantage of that before they see my stats if I were to keep playing and see that I'm 3-betting way too much. So for now, I think we can get away with silly amount of aggression. Not that we've done anything too crazy yet, but okay, pocket tens. Like, not a great spot, obviously. Checking sucks, betting sucks. I'm just gonna start with the bet, but obviously, like, checking this hand's not gonna be bad. King queen on the left, easy range bet spot. Take it down and then back over with the tens. Kind of interesting. I'm gonna check the turn, but I think there's some merit to betting as well. Now I'm going to show down and hope he has like 10-9 specifically. I don't know. Really tough to win this one, but not really much we can do. I think the only option was potentially barreling the turn. But it's such a good board for, I mean, he has ace-jack obviously in that spot, so I'm actually happy with my play in hindsight, because we'll have a lot more showdown if he's calling really loose pre-flop. But yeah, if he's playing properly, like, that board is so good for his range. It's just like not that appealing to blast tens in there. Okay, with 10-6 against that same guy, we see bet the flop small, pure check turn, and I think even though the flush completed, like, we unblocked the ace and the king, so I think it's fine to play like b75 here. Just hoping to get called by a hand like ace-4 or king-jack. A 10-9, again, pretty good board for us. Just gonna keep betting. I think just betting a lot against these guys is not gonna be a bad strategy. Pocket fives, gonna have to fold once it goes raise 3-bet. With 10-9, this turn's obviously not very good for us. I think we can bet sometimes, check sometimes. Go ahead and bet this time. Snap call. Don't love the snap call. I think I'm gonna give up when he snaps. We also have really bad removal here, so yeah, I'm not. I mean, if I go really big, that hand should fold, but yeah, not that confident. I could get him to fold unless it is something crazy, particularly with the turn snap call. So I think I'm fine. Give up. And pocket 10 is gonna cold 4-bet here. And I'll fold queen jack, although it's such a pretty hand, it's tempting to get in there. Okay, with queens, 10-8-3. I think our hand's like strong, but obviously vulnerable. May as well just bet bigger on the flop. I'm just gonna bet, but yeah, obviously Jack 9 and all the flush is complete. But I think betting's still a play. Getting raised here would be kind of sad, but just need the board to pair and we'll be good to go. Now I'm just checking down. Oh, come on, where's the 10 river? With ace-5 here, we 3-bet blind versus blind, bet the flop. Ace of spades not great. Would really prefer ace diamonds or something. I'm gonna check this one. Just have to be like somewhat careful. Again, these guys don't know me, so maybe it's fine. But like, gonna have a lot of like offsuit trash combos here that can barrel. So I don't really feel a need to pick ones that have any sort of bad properties because you have so many that have good properties. I actually think I am just gonna show this one down. Like, yeah, I don't expect this to get through if I bet, to be honest. So yeah, he was trapping. Good give up. Kind of felt like a spot where all of his non-showdown is going to bet the river. And then his whole range is going to be either check calls or check raises. Just because the run out is particularly good for him and I've capped myself pretty hard on the turn. So again, that might be like overly simplistic, but I just feel like bet check bet on that exact run out is going to underperform. So I would go very thin for value and be very selective with my bluffs. Also with ace-5, like we're gonna have worse hands there than ace-high, so don't feel like I'm forced to bet that one. And then also ace of spades, again, not that good. We want him to have hands like ace-10, ace-jack of spades that floated the flop, and is trying to show down. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that give up. King 4, like gonna big bet again here. He is never gonna have any 2-pair on this board, so when that's the case, our overpairs are worth a lot more, and we can appropriately size up. So again, obviously the 10 is an amazing turn, but I still think barreling is just fine. Queen 10, we do not get paid. And now we have very poor removal, easy check back, and lose every time, I guess. Oh, I was trying to think of a hand that we would win against 6-5, 6-5 of spades, like the one hand. Even 5-4 of spades got there. There's the only other like combo draw that could, like, I mean, I don't know why you would not raise it, but it has the equity to call the turn, I guess. That's funny. Okay, ace high mono, pretty bad for us. I'm going to check back and then look to delay c-bet. Yeah, seems crazy for that guy not to have raised the flop, although I guess it's kind of awkward. That's why you don't really flat the small blind there. What is this? Don't think I'll be perceived to rep much if I raise there, so not gonna get too crazy. Definitely opening a bit looser than you're supposed to, but I don't think people are gonna punish you that much, to be honest. Uh, 10-8, another mixed 3-bet blind versus blind. Let's just go ahead and send it. I think small bet's fine. I think check's fine. Yeah, and I'm happy to just bet pretty frequently because I don't expect to get check raised very often. And I still think people are overfolding. Okay, ace deuce of spades, another one of those boards. Like you can have some offsuit 2-pair here with 9-8, but that's it. It's not that high of a frequency, so still a really good board for us to big bet. And this hand has some good properties, just having decent backdoors. Now, this hand is pretty bad. No equity. Ace of spades kind of bad. So I'm going to check this time. Maybe you can bet at low frequency, but I would prefer some other like offsuit hand with like diamonds, obviously. Sorry, other hands with diamonds or hearts and stuff can be good. Fives here, just need to fold. And easy fold, facing pot. Just gonna keep 3-betting all these hands. This guy just 3-bet and c-bet against a minute ago, so maybe he'll be sick of me. Yep, called it. Easy call with the queen-jack heart. He didn't make it particularly large. This hand is more than good enough blind versus blind. We're also a little bit deeper, which I think is good for this hand. So, and we get the worst flop. King jack suited here, we can mix calls and 4-bets. I'm gonna throw in the 4-bet this time. See what happens. Okay, we get called flop top pair. Obviously a little bit dicey because our opponent can have aces that's trapping here, you can have queens that's you can have queens pure basically, you can have king queen. Even some ace king, so definitely a dicey spot, but start flop bet. And on the left with ace deuce of clubs, pretty good spot for us to check raise with obviously bottom pair, nut flush draw, turn the nuts. Let's see, it's 10-9 of clubs, I guess. A small bet here, but I do think larger bet could be okay on that specific flush turn. But I think defaulting to small is just fine. Okay, so tournament check. River club is not great. Don't expect him to have aces anymore. I don't expect him to have ace king anymore. Occasionally queens, but that seems unlikely. I do think we have the best hand unless he has a flush. So I think quarter pot targeting a hand like ace queen is not unreasonable. That's crazy. I would have expected aces to bet pretty much pure on the turn, obviously looking to jam the river. I think we lost the absolute stone minimum there. Yeah, didn't even consider jamming the river with the aces. I guess with no club. I don't know. So I think it's worth considering at least. But yeah, definitely lost the absolute minimum. I'm surprised he checked back the turn. But he was kind to us. Could have stacked us, didn't do it. Okay, with ace 6 suited, we defend blind versus blind. Face check. Gonna start betting. I think checking this hand back is fine too. Sometimes I'm looking to bluff later streets, but I expect them to be able to fold and flop, so I'm happy to do it. And then ace jack suited, we call 4-bet. Obviously, decent start, flopping top pair with some backdoors, but yeah, a little scary. Right. Deuce of diamonds, so not in great shape if he has ace king, ace queen. I think 10th in these positions just mainly get pitched. And yeah, the ace jack. Definitely calling turn, and then we put the test on the river potentially. Ooh, what's that? What is that? Yeah, I mean, just going all in. Don't really think I lose much here. Okay, with ace deuce on the right, face a kind of large check raise. Easy call. This is the guy who called ace jack under gun 3-bet, I think. Sorry, under the gun facing a 3-bet. Anyway, this spot sucks, but I am going to call. What the fuck is this hand? Alright, bro. If you got a 4, you got me. Not that this river deuce really changes much, but I guess he could be bluffing with like deuce x of clubs. That would be a good hand, and then he could value jam that, and we chop. So it changes a little bit, I guess. Chop with some value. And I don't know. This is so stupid. Bluffs would need to be like 6-5. I guess some like flop 3x or 5x that then sends it on the river, but yeah, anyway. Makes sense. He had what he was saying, yeah. But I think, yeah, I'm definitely not going to be calling that late in that spot, but I do think I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I folded a hand that strong. So congratulations on flopping trips. I do think it was pretty shamelessly played though. Just like kind of bigger than you'd expect check raise on the flop. Just huge overbet, no care in the world on the turn ace. So, I mean, could be a spot where that guy is just never bluffing, but until I have more of a concrete read on what he's up to, I'm not willing to fold ace deuce. Speaking of ace deuce, we have it again on the right, and we're gonna start with a small bet again. See what happens here. Pretty bad turn. Ace queen on the left. Pretty small 3-bet, so I'm gonna call. I think some of these like high-low hands are decent. This isn't like the best one by any means, but our range is quite strong on this spot, so I think getting in there sometimes isn't bad. Ace queen can go either way. Check this time. And just checking down. Hopefully we get a hand like jack 10, 10, 9, queen 10, king queen. Obviously great river. Perfect. I don't really understand what's happening here, so I'm gonna call and see what happens on the river. I really just don't feel like he has a strong hand. Check flop, awkwardly small size on the turn. Size up river diamond, I have a diamond. I'm all in. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but something about that guy's line made me feel like he had nothing, so that one worked out. Particularly, it was the flop check, and then his turn size just, to me, didn't really rep anything. So. Still can't believe the aces check back out of that guy. I mean, maybe in this pool he's just overly scared of like kings and queens trapping. But I don't know. Ace queen, just checking down. I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, I would normally never bet this, but I do think this guy's just, unless he rivers a king, he's just out of there. So I think that's going to work a bit more often than it should. Kings against what I assume is a rake. I'm just hoping to get a pretty large check raise in here. Obviously, pretty unfortunate when it goes check, but now I'm just going to bet 2 streets. Obviously, great river. So we lose to like 5x of hearts, which I guess he can have. But just put in some sort of overbet. On the left, again, you can mix 4-bet and call this time. We'll just go ahead and 4-bet it for fun. And a board that's this dry, I think we're fine to just bet small again. Don't love my hand as a turn barrel. So I'm going to check fold. We're going to have hands like king 10, king jack, that at least have some equity. And then we'll also have some ace highs that have a bit better removal, whether it's like not blocking the backdoor flush draw floats or a different side card that doesn't block some folds, because essentially if we like triple in that spot, we're looking to get a hand like pocket tens to fold. So don't love the idea of tripling with the tens. Maybe some like ace 5 would be a little bit better. Can't always like just pick the perfect combo, but I do think in those like narrow range spots you need to be selective, because otherwise you're just like way out of whack. I guess ace 5 was bottom pair, but yeah, I would always bet that if I had it. But yeah, king jack, king 10 seems like a lot better. Even obviously ace king as well. So I think the ace 10, ace jack ones are like the worst ones, particularly of the like hearts and clubs that are the bad suits on that board. Anyway, Okay, I'm gonna go for another orbit or two. Hopefully we get one more cool spot and then probably call it there. But let me know what you guys thought of throwing in some lower stakes content. If it's something you guys want more of, let me know. Happy to jump back in here. Or if you prefer the usual like 200 or 500 now videos, obviously there'll be more of those coming your way. I think the biggest example of what I was saying at the beginning of the video about like paying attention and looking for some spots for some big exploits is that ace queen hand. Like, never played against this guy before, but once that guy checks flop and then only half pots the turn, I think it's just so unlikely he ever has a strong hand there. And then yeah, to size up the river flush complete as well, just the whole hand just felt like really awkwardly played. And usually that's indicative of someone who's just bluffing or has like a medium hand or something. Anyway, facing block, easy call with the king queen. And okay, on the left with pocket sevens, we squeeze, and the small blind went call. We're a bit deeper, actually we're fairly deep, so it's something to pay attention to. It's obviously like one of the worst turns. Particularly that one, because not only do we lose every flush, but we also lose to some straights now as well. So for that reason, I will be checking. I mean, part of me is tempted to bet small again, but I don't really think it's worth it. If I ever get jammed on or whatever, it's such a disaster with this kind of hand. And someone who's calling the small blind here is definitely capable of just putting all the chips in on the turn for some reason. That being said, I will not be folding just because I think maybe he is just betting a king for some reason, or he just has some random like flop float that now is betting small. So anyway, especially for this price, I'm just never gonna fold. Yeah, king queen off for the diamond, well played, sir. Yeah, just those spots. I think you have to pony up the cash. You have to pay the man. Yeah, I think we'll call it there. Just finish up these couple orbits. If you guys had any questions about any of the hands I played, as always, make sure to leave a comment. And yeah, let me know if you guys like the lower stakes stuff, or if you want us to stick exclusively to, you know, more mid stakes and potentially some high stakes stuff. With 10-8 clubs, we go for a small bet and get raised. Obviously, continuing. Deuce of clubs is very good. Obviously, we pick up more equity, but it also removes a lot of value from our opponent's range. This size is really weird. But yeah, obviously now he doesn't have queen deuces often. He doesn't have pocket deuces as often. So really cuts a lot of the value. When he goes this small, I guess it allows him to still rep some queen X. Like if he has ace queen or king queen, that check raised. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is just, he has a queen and he's just sizing his hand. I'm gonna just make him pay. Don't expect to get called here a tremendous amount, but I do think I like jam because we're basically all of our value just wants to go for all of it here. We either have an 8 or deuce or pocket queens, queen 8 type stuff. Could even potentially value raise like aces or kings there just because the sizing so transparent. I probably wouldn't jam those hands, just exploitatively. But yeah, I think with a boat, I'm happy to just play for it there, obviously, and let him wonder. Also, if I had like any non-main hand there, I would happily shove just because I think that's massively overfolded. He just never has a good hand when he takes that sizing scheme. So we would have to have like some sort of common draw or something, I guess, to get to the river, but I would feel no shame in just sailing those in. This spot's kind of interesting if it checks to us. Yeah, like we definitely could have the best hand, but I do think we have the most 5x as well. Also, it's kind of nice, like having a bluff that has equity against a 5 if they do occasionally have it. And I do think it's really nice to get them off of hands like 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, well, like 7s through kings essentially. Yeah, I don't know. I also just think this is going to work a lot. I think we just rep a straight. If he checked a 5 twice, good for him. Or if he calls us light, also good for him. All right, that'll do it. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.